We quite like the model you've created, especially with the revenue from Bethesda. But that hasn't started yet, really, because you built your plant, zinc prices have gone down. You're going to have to pay back that plant before the revenue start flowing. What's the timing on that?
Well, we thought we'd have it done at previous zinc prices in a year, but now we're saying 2 years. So we really won't start getting major revenue from that till 2023. That's the estimate at this point. And now we do get monthly management fees, sales commissions, so that pays a lot of overheads. But the big, annual dividends from production come out once a year post the Turkish AGM when a dividend is declared. And, so far what we're doing is the project cost us about 26 million US, the new plant. We've already paid that down to about 23, 24 million. And we expect, over the balance of this year and next year to pay that all off.
Okay, interesting. And so let's talk about the market.
And important, Matthew, sorry to cut in there, that it's non-recourse debt to Global Atomic.
Yeah, noted. Let's talk about the macro a little bit here, because you said to me a second ago we can produce at $35, but in the current climate, no one's getting financed, are they? So I know you raised a little bit of money, but it's a little bit of money. No one's getting the capex financed in the current market. So what are you doing about that? Why have you raised the money that you did? Because you could have raised more, but you chose not to.
Well, you know what? We like to keep dilution to a minimum, number one. We had a bit of a pop in the uranium price. We took advantage of it. COVID was there. Obviously, we said, you know what? We better put a little bit of working capital into the treasury. The stock ran up to about 70 plus cents a share. We did a unit offering at 60. There was a lot of people trying to get it at 50. We said, this is not fair to be taking such a haircut. So we did a smaller raise, but it provided sufficient capital for us with the funds we had on board to finish all of our feasibility work, make our applications for the mine plan and all of that. So really, we don't expect to come back to market until we do project financing after we have our mining permit. I think that's very important for people to realize. A lot of feedback I've been getting is people say, well, you didn't raise enough, you're going to have to come back to the market. Well, I don't think we will. Unless COVID lasts for the next 2 years and everything is stalled. But, based on our schedule, right now we're going to be applying in August for our mine permit. If things go according to plan, we should have it by the end of Q1. And the funds we have are sufficient to complete all the feasibility work and get our mine permit in hand. So that'll be a big catalyst for the company after that.
That's quite big. I hadn't appreciated that. So that'll get you through to when you start raising money to actually get this thing into production. Okay.
That's right.
That's impressive. So what are you doing with the money that you did raise? I mean, what precisely, how are you spending it? And I know you said put some in treasury, but you've also got to move things forward. So how's that broken down?
No, we had then with that raising, we had about $6.5 million in the treasury, which basically we've been using to do our environmental impact study. So that's been completed. Now we're at the phase now where we have 2 public hearings. So one at site with the small villages in the area, and then one in Niamey. Once those are done, everything is submitted. We get a sign off from the environmental ministry. That goes in as part of our application for our mining permit. So on top of using funds to do that, we've been using funds obviously to complete all the feasibility work necessary for our development plan for our mining permit application. And then the balance will be used for some geotechnical drilling that's going to be required, and the final engineering and design for the mine and the plant. So, we have sufficient funds on board to do all of that.
Okay, and there's a little bit of debt with Turkish banks in relation to Bethesda. I mean, Is that going to be rolled over? I mean, how's that being dealt with?
Yeah, no, that's a good point. So Bethesda has basically sponsored Global Atomic, and we have a deal with them at about a 5% interest rate to carry our portion. And what we have agreed to is that we would use all the cash flow to pay that down prior to receiving dividends. So they've got 100% of the cash flow coming to them, aside from the management fees, et cetera, that I mentioned. And the Turkish banks, we have lines of credit in Turkey. We've been operating there since 2009. The banks, they've been working with us. They like us. And so the lines of credit help us with our general working capital requirements in the country.